All right, welcome everyone. My name is Deb Taylor. I want to welcome you to the virtual college exploration for all Ohio students. It is sponsored by the Ohio Association of College Admission Counseling and Strive Scan. I just want to go over a few housekeeping items before we get started. You have a Q&A button on your screen that you can use to type in your questions to our presenters. Your audio and cameras are off, so they cannot hear or see you. This is just one of the many different sessions that are being offered. You can go to the OACAC website, oacac.org. This evening's session, along with many other sessions, are being recorded. Again, you can go to that website, oacac.org. You can scroll down to the bottom of the page and you can see the recordings. So at this time, I want to hand it over to our presenters.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Wade Rhodes. I'm our senior admissions counselor here at Ohio Northern, and I want to thank you for taking time out of your evening to come learn about Ohio Northern a little bit more and a lot of the wonderful benefits that we have in our here at campus. So, and I'll introduce Daisha Darby.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daisha Darby. I am the admissions counselor for Northwest Ohio, and so if any of my students are on right now, hi, and welcome to our presentation.
All right. So first off, we're going to try to get to know you all a little bit better. So two options. One, you can go to this website, menti.com, and use this code, or you can take your cell phones and pull up the camera and scan the QR code. And you'll use the same code, and it'll take you to some interactive questions. There's two of them, and so basically the first one is a word cloud, just trying to understand what majors you guys are interested in. So go ahead and go to the website, type in the code, and go ahead and start putting in some majors that you guys are interested in. We got pharmacy. It's great. It's one of the things we're known for. Music. Oh, there we go. Music, biotech, finance. Oh, there we go. Oh, they're really flying in. All right. This is cool, watching this all kind of pop in. All right. That's awesome. Very cool. Thank you, everyone. I'm really excited to see kind of a really good grouping and a broad array of academic programs that you all are interested in. You've really touched on all aspects and all four corners of our institution here. I see majors from all four of our undergraduate colleges. So we're really excited about that. I encourage each of you to, if you haven't visited campus before, to come visit us here in Ada and to learn more about these individual programs and get an idea what the curriculums are like, meet with the professors and all of that good stuff. So, and at the end of this presentation, we'll have an opportunity for you to schedule a visit. So the next question is, what grade are you in? So go ahead and choose which area best fits you, and we'll kind of see kind of who we're talking to here. A pretty even mix so far. This is exciting. All right. Very cool. So pretty evenly mixed. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for taking part in that interactive little bit there. And it's always nice to kind of see who it is that we're talking to when we're going through these, so we can kind of get an idea from that point. But from here, I'll turn it over to Daisha, and she'll kind of jump into talking a little bit more about Ohio Northern.
Thank you all for completing that. And so again, my name is Daisha, and I am going to talk to you a little bit about what it's like to be a polar bear. So here on campus, we have roughly about 3,000 students, so close to 3,000, not quite. So it is a great mixture of both men and women. We sit on a campus in Ada, Ohio with a little over 300 acres. It's not too far, as you see on the map, from Findlay, Ohio, Lima, Ohio, and not too far from Toledo, Ohio as well. Here on campus, we have 5 different colleges. So many of the degree programs that you all just mentioned in the previous 2 slides were questions it was a question pertaining to what major you would like. And so many of those majors were covered in one of the 5 listed colleges here. We have the College of Arts and Sciences, we have the College of Business, the College of Engineering, the College of Pharmacy, and the College of Law. Our average classroom size is around 20 students. So it's similar to many standard high school size classes, not too big, not too small. You won't be overwhelmed in a classroom where it's a large lecture hall. 90% of our classes are 30 or less students, so you'll be able to build great rapport with your classmates, as well as know your professor on an individual basis.
So here at Ohio Northern, we were very intentional about your success as a student here on campus. And so what we've developed is what we call the Ohio Northern Promise. And this promise really guides who we are as an institution and shows you where our commitments lie. So the first part, most of our programs outside of, say, the College of Pharmacy, which is a 6-year program, has a 4-year graduation guarantee where if you follow the curriculum as it's listed, we can ensure that you're going to graduate in 4 years, because part of that is mitigating the cost of college, because it's not getting, it's expensive, it's scary. And how do we, offset that and mitigate that? Well, this is one way that we're not just going to let you just, figure it out on your own and then wind up taking 5 years. The other aspect, and we'll break this out in the next few slides, is this idea of high impact learning practices. Because a lot of our programs here on campus, you have to, really roll your sleeves up and do it with your hands. So, and ultimately, hands-on learning really enhances your educational experience and really aids in the uptake of that knowledge that you're learning. So all of our academic programs are woven or interwoven with these high impact practices. So nothing that we're going to talk about in the next few slides are going to add any time onto that 4 years. The third aspect is obviously one of the most important parts, and that's what, we want to make sure that you have the opportunities when you graduate to be successful and pursue those and achieve those goals that you have set for yourself. So we're really committed to providing those opportunities while you're here to get that job career placement when you graduate. And we'll break that out a little bit over these next few slides as well.
So let's talk about high impact practices. Here at Ohio Northern, we are known for our high impact practices. This is one of the key components that usually persuade a student to choose us as a campus. Starting out year 1, students will take classes in most majors starting out within their major. At most institutions, you probably wouldn't get into your degree program until roughly maybe sophomore or junior year. Here at Ohio Northern, you'll start out year 1 participating in hands-on experiences. You'll do first-year experiences, capstone courses, and undergrad research. And being that we are undergrad focused here at Ohio Northern, you don't have to worry about competing for these opportunities with upperclassmen or grad students. Our students are getting a well-balanced education. Many are doing degree level work on an undergrad level. In many programs, some offer internships and some may be required. And then other programs also may offer cooperative education programs. And as you see listed here on the bottom of the slide, some of these major companies are partnered with our campus where many of our students are taking advantage of these great opportunities. Here you'll see kind of a small chart of our high impact practices compared to peer schools as well as national participants. Again, you'll notice that with research, with faculty, internships, field experiences, as well as senior experiences, we are high on the mark when it comes to our high impact practices. So students will be guaranteed to have that type of experience within our institution. Some other opportunities for high impact practice would be study abroad. Now, as we know right now, things may be a little iffy with the current climate around the world, but I highly recommend studying abroad program as a student, because once you become a working adult, it's hard to travel abroad, to backpack in different countries, to do different trips. So this is a perfect time to learn and grow as a young adult, to be cultured with different cultures around the world. Also, we have different opportunities for students to do field semester opportunities, competitions, as well as service learning projects. So as you see here, this is just some of our outcomes we have as a campus. You'll see that we're ranked number 3 among the Midwest region colleges by the U.S. News and World Report in 2001. We are also ranked number 6 with our pay scale, being that our salary potential with our graduates is high in return of investments. Then also you'll notice here, the New York Times report that we are ranked 2nd out of 76 colleges in Ohio and 10th nationally here, where our median student income at the age of 34 for students is top ranked. Some more outcomes listed here. You'll see that number 1, we are most likely in Ohio and 3rd in the nation to place as graduates in a job. So here at Ohio Northern, one of our big outcomes is our high placement rate. We do have the number 1 in the state of Ohio, where it's guaranteed that our students will be placed at a job or graduate school within 6 months of graduating from Ohio Northern. And I believe that is 97%. Well, 96% for 2019 graduates from a 99% reporting rate. Student life organizations. So here on campus, we have an abundance of student life organizations, 200 plus to be exact. We have opportunities for students to be engaged in professional organizations, social-based organizations, or even service-based organizations. So an abundance of opportunities to learn and grow as a young adult, to network, which is a key component to college overall. We are big with our visual and performing arts. There are many opportunities for students to take advantage of being a part of either band, choir, or theater or musical theater. We have a wide range of opportunities for students to take advantage of. We also even have talent awards that are mini scholarships for students who major or opportunities for non-majors in specific programs. Here at Ohio Northern, we take pride in our volunteerism. We have 50,000 plus volunteer hours that our students have done here within our local area, around the state, even around the country, and even in some places around the world. Many student organizations have opportunities to volunteer. For example, we have a program called, or organization called Nursing Without Borders. Nursing Without Borders travel to Dominican Republic every year, and they provide toiletries and they provide clothing and healthcare services to people of need within that country. Here we are NCAA D3 school, so we offer 23 D3 sports here on campus. If you would like to see if your sport is listed, definitely check out that website listed there, onsports.com. We also just added esports to our roster of varsity level sports last year. And from what I've been told, The esports program did very well this past school year. Greek life. Greek life is another huge component of campus life or college life in general. It's a great way to network. It's a great way to give back to the community. It's a great way to provide service and scholarship to those in the surrounding communities, as well as students within the Ada community as well. So if you are deciding to join a fraternity or sorority, I would highly recommend reaching out to Student Life for more information about the different programs we offer on campus. Religious life. Now, although our campus is United Methodist affiliated, we have more than 20 religions and denominations represented on campus. Many of our organizations provide a safe space for everyone to fellowship and worship under one accord. And then the last of our student life slides I would like to mention is our Office of Multicultural Development. I always encourage students to be involved in multicultural development. If you ever decide you want to study abroad, or if you decide that you want to work in a community where it's a dominant culture, I highly encourage you to be involved in these multicultural organizations. You can learn about their language, their food, their culture, and then take that wealth of knowledge with you to that community that you want to work in or to that country that you want to study under. And just to name a few, we have Latino Student Union, Asian American Student Association, Japanese Student Organization, African Student Association, and so much more. And these are just some pictures that you see of just some of our different events that we have on campus where you will have a blast and have fun with students who are from all different backgrounds of life.
All right, so let's talk about housing for a minute. Here at Ohio Northern, our students are required to live on campus for their first 3 years, so freshman, sophomore, junior year. And our freshman residence hall is pretty typical, pretty standard, but really nice for a freshman residence hall to kind of begin that process of becoming independent and growing into an adult. So in our freshman residence hall, it's double occupancy with a communal style bathroom from that point. So that's when I mentioned the traditional sense where it's 2 people in a room, bathroom down the hall from that point. But a couple key benefits. Number one, laundry is included in the cost. So you don't have to stockpile any quarters from that point. You just have to go down there with your detergent, throw your clothes in, do your laundry from that point. The other big benefit is that each of those rooms are air conditioned individually and heated subsequently. So you'll be able to work with your roommate to find that perfect temperature. Or if you're living by yourself, that thermostat goes all the way from 50 degrees to 90 degrees. So you get that very broad range. You can live in an ice box and live like a true polar bear, or you can live in the desert at that top end. So but you'll be able to fluctuate that as you see fit. There's also kitchen spaces in Founders Hall, and that you'll be able to check out pots and pans at the front desk. If you want to have spaghetti dinner with some of your friends, you'll still be able to do that in that freshman residence hall. But each year that you're here on campus, you do get a little bit of an upgrade as far as your residence hall. So Lima Hall is primarily for our sophomores, and it's more suite style. So you now have your living space and your roommate will have their living space. And you guys you'll be apart and you'll have a little common area that most students will turn into a living room with a semi-private bathroom. So it will just be you sharing a bathroom with one other person rather than 40 people. So that's the benefit, is that you no longer have to wait in long lines for a shower or anything like that. You'll just be sharing with one other person. Now, junior year, you get to move into one of our campus apartments. Now, these are fully furnished apartments, and each apartment comes complete with a kitchen, and that is a full kitchen. So for those of you that like to cook, this is your dream come true, because you'll be able to cook every night and not have to eat in the dining hall every day. Because in that junior year, we're not requiring students to have a meal plan, because we figure that students are going to eat at home, so to speak, rather than eating in the dining hall. However, for those students that, cooking is scary and, you don't want to do it, you can have you have the opportunity to purchase a meal plan and have the ability to eat in the dining hall. Senior year, you get to move off campus if you so choose, or you can move back on campus and move into one of those apartments with a group of friends. But freshmen are allowed to bring their cars to campus, and parking passes are $65 for the entire school year from that point. So, you're still having the freedom to go to the grocery store, still go out to eat, whatever that looks like. But our campus primarily is walking distance. So I tell students it'll take longer to drive to class than it would to walk. So for them, by and large, students are bringing their cars and they're parking them just to have them if they need them. But for the most part, students are walking around from that point of view. Now, the meal plan here at Ohio Northern, students shouldn't go hungry, because we're going to give you plenty of opportunities to eat and be healthy that way. So your first semester here on campus, you're required to have that 19 meal plan, and that's the one that's highlighted there. That basically means that you get 19 meals in our all-you-can-eat dining hall from that point of view. So I joke with students that you can consume 5,000 calories 19 times a week. That's the way to think of it. In addition to those meal swipes, you also get $250 dining dollars. Now, think of this as you get $250 to use how you want to use it. Whether that be going to one of our coffee shops, you go to Wow Cafe and do some minor grocery shopping, get a box of cereal, half gallon of milk, whatever that looks like. That's coming off of that $250 dining dollars. Now, that 19 swipes, we call it, covers breakfast, lunch, dinner, Monday through Friday, and brunch and dinner on the weekends. So if you're not a morning person and you're going to wake up 15 minutes before class starts, and therefore you're not really using that breakfast swipe, you have the ability to shift that to the end of the day, what we call late night swipe, that you can use at Wow Cafe. And so say it's like 8 o'clock, you're a little hungry, you want a chicken quesadilla, but you don't want to have to walk all the way to Taco Bell. You can repurpose that breakfast swipe and use that at Wow Cafe so you can have your late night snack from that point. If after that first semester, 19 meals is just too much, you're not utilizing all 19, you have the flexibility to go into some of these other meal plans, say the 12 meal plan, which gives you a little bit more flexibility. Once you get into the apartments, you can go into the dining dollar plan where you get $400 a semester to use however you wish to do that. So again, you shouldn't go hungry. In our dining hall, some pictures here, was just freshly renovated a handful of years ago. So it's really great. They brought in new food options, and it's engaging, and we do some fun things. Like this picture on the right is one of my favorite promotions to watch, not necessarily partake in. It's students are able to make their own smoothies, but in order to do that, they have to pedal the bike. So the bike pedals the blender, so you get a little bit of workout, but you get a sweet treat at the end. So it kind of works out, and you get a little payoff. But our dining hall, the Macintosh Dining Center, and the Wow Cafe are able to use those swipes, and then Cozy, which is similar to a Panera, and Polar Espresso and Northern Lights are the two coffee shops here on campus. So you can use those dining dollars to get some Starbucks coffee at that point. So you get that little bit of a sweet treat as well. And then this slide really just kind of drives home the idea that by and far, our number one priority is your success as a student. And that takes shape in a couple of different ways. One, we want you to be physically healthy, right? Number two is we want you to be mentally and emotionally healthy as well, and academically, successful, because student success kind of encompasses all of these different facets. So this list of offices, as well as everyone else here on campus, are committed, and they interplay together to make sure that you as a student are successful from that point. So application season for those of you that are seniors is well upon us. And for those of you that are juniors, sophomores, and beyond, you're staring this down, in the next couple of years. So here at Ohio Northern, we have two ways to apply. One is our own application on the left, and we are also a member of the Common Application. So we here don't prefer one over the other. Whichever application is most convenient for you is what we're going to suggest and recommend that you do. Our application and Common App, they're both free here at Ohio Northern, which is a really great benefit for you. And our application opens up July 1st of your senior year. Okay, so for those of you that are juniors, this is coming up next summer. And again, like I said, those seniors, you're in the thick of this process already. The Common Application opens up August 1st prior to senior year. So again, same time frame. But the Common App, if you're looking to, say, apply to 10 schools in your college search, I think that everybody, not only here at Ohio Northern, but any other school, would encourage you to pursue the Common App, because you can apply to multiple schools at the same time, and it saves a lot of time, and makes it a little bit easier from that point. We would encourage you to apply by December 1st. As you can see, our College of Pharmacy has a priority deadline of December 1st, but we operate on rolling admissions here at Ohio Northern, meaning we accept applications year round. So you're still able to apply after that December 1st date for arts and sciences, engineering, and business. And you can work with the College of Pharmacy at that point, but we'll still accept applications, and we'll still review them with the same respect that we would for students that are applying in August from that point. Now for fall 2021, meaning this coming year, we have decided to go test optional, meaning students do not have to send in their ACT or SAT scores, frankly, because students are running into cancellations and not being able to take those tests. So we'll still need your application. We'll still need a transcript, whether you apply test optional or not. And on the application, there'll be a specific question asking you if you want your test scores considered for admissions. And in a couple of slides, we'll talk about what that admissions process looks like if you have your ACT or SAT, or if you don't from that point. But we also don't require essays or letters of recommendation for most of our programs, at least. But I think that not only me, but I think the rest of my coworkers and most admissions professionals will agree that we would encourage you to think about writing that college essay, because it gives us a chance to peek behind the curtain and see who you are as an individual, rather than just looking at these numbers of your GPA or just your test score. So it really gives you the chance to kind of paint the picture of who you are as a person. So if for those of you that are interested in pharmacy, you are highly encouraged to send in at least one letter of recommendation. You are required to do an essay, and there is the interview process, which is required part of that process. But pharmacy is the only program that has that interview as part of the admissions process. So if you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be able to talk to you about what that looks like and point you in the right direction. And for those of you that are interested in pursuing music, both as a major and as just an extracurricular, there is an audition process for a talent award for those non-majors. And musical theater is also available to non-theater majors. So for those of you that have partaken in musicals while in high school, but you want to pursue civil engineering, you can still partake in the musicals without having to declare a theater major. So like I was mentioning, that talent award with the audition for both programs, you can do on-campus auditions, and those dates are on our website, or you can use getaccepted.com, and we'll be able to review your auditions from that point. So here at Ohio Northern, we're going to do a really comprehensive, holistic review of your application. So, taking into account all aspects of who you are as an individual, not just your GPA, not just your test score from that point. So we're going to look at those things, and they're going to carry the most amount of weight. But really, we're going to look and see that, are you engaged? Are you active? Are you involved in community service? Are you, we want to see students that, really aren't one-dimensional, that you didn't just do one thing while you were in high school. So on your application, the more in depth that you could go, I think would benefit you in the long run, because it shows that you're able to do these things and still maintain that sense of scholastic success that is ultimately important. So like I mentioned, the essay is not required, but it's highly, I would say I would encourage each of you to do that, but it's not something that's going to negatively impact your application. And same way with letters of recommendation. So there are things that add value, but you're not going to be negatively judged on from that point or reviewed upon. As you can see at the bottom, our average GPA is a 3.7 and our middle 50% range is a 23 to a 28 on the ACT, with our average being about a 26 from that point. So students are coming into Ohio Northern prepared and successful at the high school level, and they're going to continue that while they're here to ultimately, and that's going to help again lay that foundation to lead them to success when they graduate, because ultimately that's our goal. Like I mentioned at the beginning, is getting you across the stage in 4 years and into a job in your field doing what you want to do. So that's our goal, and we're going to do what we can to get to that point. Now this slide here, we'll talk about scholarships in because I think that this is one of the most important aspects, and probably something that a lot of you are going to be considering as part of your college search process. So our scholarships range from $14,000 to $22,000 a year. These are automatically awarded upon acceptance. So in your senior year, you apply, you get accepted here at Ohio Northern. We're going to run a calculation and award you one of these scholarships. Now that calculation is based off your weighted GPA, and we would super score your ACT or SAT from that point. Now, if you apply test optional, basically what that means is we'll just be looking at your weighted GPA in that calculation. And same way, if I go back to that holistic review, if you apply test optional, and really even if you submit your test scores, we're going to look at your transcript and take a deep dive into that, make sure that you're taking an appropriate number of courses, the right, proper sequence, and ultimately that you did well in those, right? And the same kind of holds true with this scholarship, that we're going to look at that weighted GPA and your ACT scores. So the link that's at the top of this slide here, onu.edu/scholarship and cost-calculator, will take you to our website and allow you to plug in your weighted GPA, plug in that super score ACT, and you can even see what it looks like without a test score and see what estimated scholarship that you could reasonably expect to receive from Ohio Northern. So it's a great tool to kind of, if you're a junior or sophomore planning on taking the ACT, it gives you a way to kind of reverse engineer your goals. You can start with, this is a scholarship that I hope to receive. What do I have to get to that point? So you can use that way. Another aspect is that you can basically simulate the FAFSA form and get a rough out-of-pocket cost on what that scholarship could look like and what your out-of-pocket cost could be here at Ohio Northern. As you can see in the smaller print, our scholarships are renewable for the 4 years that you're here on campus as well. So for those of you that are looking at pharmacy, this would obviously cover your first 4 years, and in your 5th year, you switch to a graduate student from that point. And I believe that there are scholarships available for pharmacy students specific for those last 2 years. And more information, you can reach out to the College of Pharmacy or financial aid for more information about that. So, what you're going to see is that 66% of our students that are currently here on campus that were in the class of 2019, is that 66% said that Ohio Northern was a little bit more expensive than their other options, but worth the value of the education that they saw. Whether that's coming here on campus and seeing these things that they're going to do every single day over their 4 years. So we would encourage you again to come visit us, onu.edu/visit. Stop by, come to campus, come talk to us so we can talk to you about, again, those benefits, everything that we've talked about in this presentation, because we believe that, the value of the Ohio Northern education is great, and it's, it's going to be able to really take you wherever it is that you want to go. So, if you want to go to, be a computer scientist at Google out in California, we can get you there. If you want to go, follow in the footsteps of Bob Peterson, be an animator at Pixar Studios and Disney, we can do that. The Ohio Northern degree has no limit, and you can truly do what it is that you want to do. So you all have these goals and these dreams, and quite frankly, the Ohio Northern degree is going to let you accomplish those things. So for those of you, you're probably all over the place, and this map really just shows kind of how we've broke down in as far as territory, so you can see who your admissions counselor is based on kind of where you live. So if you got your phones, you can take a picture of this, and so that way you have it for your records. But at any time that you have a question, feel free to reach out to us, give us a call, shoot us an email. Again, I can't stress enough, come visit us, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you through this application process, because it's stressful, it's hard, scary, all at the same time. So we want to do what we can to make it less stressful and a little bit easier. So all of us here in the Office of Admissions are going to walk with you through this process, and so we're going to be here supporting you the whole way. So again, thank you for visiting. Listen to me, like an in-person college fair. We do appreciate you taking time to come learn more about Ohio Northern. If you need anything, feel free to reach out, but we'll open up this time to any questions that have been popping in, which we can take a look at. So again, feel free to
So yeah, I'll go ahead and get started on the questions. We have a little less than 10 minutes left.
Sure.
And so thank you, Wade, for that great overview of our housing and application process. We had someone who had a question about honors housing. And so in the question form, if you have any questions, we have less than 10 minutes. Go ahead and ask those questions now. For the question about honors housing, yes, we have honors housing in our freshman dorm. It's a wing and founders hall. We also have honors housing for upperclassmen in Affinity Village complex. We also had a question about the fitness center. For those who want to know if we have fitness centers, yes, we have fitness centers on campus. We have a free weight room and a separate room for treadmills, ellipticals, weight machines in our ONU sports complex. Also, it's a field house with a track as well as tennis courts. And on the opposite end, there is 3 full-size courts and the pool as well. And then we had a question about pharmacy interviews. Yes, the pharmacy interviews are usually in person, but right now, due to the current climate that the country and the world is under, it has become a safer avenue to do it virtually. And so that has been an option for our interviewees as well. Pharmacy interview, ask the question, do you need to be accepted first, or can you set up an interview after your application is sent? Well, in order to actually get an interview, you must first be deemed as a qualified pharmacy applicant. So the College of Pharmacy will review your application, and then once they review your application, if they want to move forward with the process, then they will contact you for an interview. And then after your interview process, that is when your application will be processed, and then the pharmacy program will then send you a letter in the mail for their decision within that program. Someone asked about the ACT, SAT scores for the class of 2022. As of right now, we're playing that by ear. So the test optional is only for students who are a part of class of 2021 as of right now. So hopefully we'll have an answer for you guys by sometime in the spring, where we will be able to let you know if we're going to be test optional for class of 2022 Right now, everything is kind of murky, it's murky waters. We're not sure what to expect, but we'll make sure we have some information for you guys sometime, hopefully by next summer before the application opens up for the class of 2022. Would you be able to email someone with pharmacy specific questions? Yes, you can. And our assistant dean, assistant admissions counselor in the College of, in the Office of Admissions, I'm sorry, tongue tied tonight. Dean just sent you his email address. So if you have any questions about that, you can contact Dean, or you can contact Bob at r-trusz@onu.edu. And then that question, I believe they just answered for you about out-of-state students. Your admissions counselor was on the previous slide. If Wade could back up just a little bit, where the slides with the admissions counselors. There you go. So do you have anything else, Wade?
Yeah, so there are some more questions for additional scholarships. This so I'm going to back up a little bit. So this scholarship here on the slide is the bulk of your financial support that every student is going to receive. But there are other types of scholarships and grants that we're able to offer from the university. And so if you go to onu.edu/financial-aid, we'll be able to navigate to our scholarships page and kind of see what other forms of scholarships that we have. And if you have any specific questions after that, you can reach out to financial aid and say, what other options are there, and they'll be able to kind of talk about, through that process.
And before you move on, I also want to encourage you to apply for external scholarships. Check with your guidance counselor, check with community organizations and agencies to make sure that you exhaust every resource within your community as well.
Absolutely. So we had a student ask about athletics, and basically onusports.com is our athletics page. And it allows you to fill out a questionnaire that basically says, hey, I'm interested in playing this sport. And that questionnaire gets sent to the respective coach. And you'll be able to, the coach will be able to begin that recruitment process, reach out to you and start that conversation from that point. So encourage you to go, again, onusports.com. Up in the top right-hand corner, there'll be a recruiting tab that you'll then be able to pull up that respective sport that you're looking at and begin that process from that point. So yeah, keep sending in questions. We've got just a few more minutes. And we'll, again, we thank you for taking time to come, again, learn more about Ohio Northern and what that looks like.
This student had a question about majoring in theater. How do you submit an audition for the Talent Award Scholarship? So if you were to go to the theater homepage for the actual degree program itself, if you scroll slightly down towards the middle or the end of the page, it will give you the information about auditions as well as the major and non-major awards. So to kind of give you some information and background information about what to expect for those particular majors as well. If, as Wade just mentioned about sports, you can go to our onusports.com page, and you can kind of go to that specific sport that you are thinking about. And above the infographic, there is a link where you can get the coach's contact information. Co-ops and internships in engineering. So if it's not required, well, it depends on the program. I'm not going to say it's not required. Depends on the program overall at ONU. So you would have to specifically talk with the College of Engineering, but most are not, well, some are not required, but I would encourage you to actually talk with the College of Engineering. The co-op is not necessarily required, but it's highly encouraged for many students who want to participate in that as well. So law program and what are the internship programs that are available. So I would highly recommend that you set up a virtual visit if you can't come to campus to talk to one of us admissions counselors, and we will be able to go in great detail about that specific question, being that we are short on time right now. Unfortunately, we can't really answer that question, but I definitely recommend contacting us outside of this webinar and we can get that answered for you.
All right. Well, I want to thank our presenters for joining us this evening, and I want to thank all of you for taking the time to join us this evening. When you close this window, you will see that there is a quick 4-question survey. We would really appreciate your feedback. Again, this session and many others are being recorded or have been recorded, and you can see them or view them at oacac.org. I want to thank you all and have a great evening.